Right now at 8 on Denver7 News on Local 3. Another awful layer in an already senseless tragedy. Sources confirm with Denver7 a police officer fired the gun that killed Johnny Hurley after he took down the gunman. Today, those who knew Johnny were not surprised by his bravery.
He did care about people, so I mean, I could totally see him coming out there and trying to stop a bad situation from occurring.
Tonight, we have in-depth coverage giving you perspective on the events that unfolded and concealed carry in our state.
There's no telling how many innocent lives were saved because of a good guy with a gun.
Good Wednesday evening, and thank you for watching Denver7 News on Local 3. I'm Jessica Porter. Johnny Hurley is being hailed a hero for stepping in to kill a gunman who had just killed an ARVADA police officer Monday afternoon. Tonight, multiple sources confirmed to Denver7 that a responding officer fired the shot that then killed Hurley. Denver7 Chief Investigator Tony KOVALESKI confirmed the story this evening. He joins us now live as this is just another tragedy layered on top of an already heartbreaking story. Tony.
Let me begin by saying something really important. These are very difficult details to share because these are life and death decisions made in an instant. In the hours after the shooting, ARVADA police have confirmed the gunman was responsible for the brutal murder of Officer Gordon Beesley. We know that Samaritan Johnny Hurley has been credited with heroic actions, but until now we did not know who killed the gunman and who was responsible for killing Samaritan Hurley. What we are sharing with you now comes from 3 ranking and informed sources at the highest levels. As ARVADA PD confirmed, the gunman shot and killed Officer Gordon Beesley. After that, Samaritan Johnny Hurley responded to the sound of gunshots and shot and killed the gunman. Our sources telling us Samaritan Hurley was killed by gunfire from a responding officer. Our news team has been in lengthy discussions with ARVADA leaders today, making sure they were aware of the information we've uncovered. In response to our calls, ARVADA PD offered this statement: "We will not confirm until the investigation team finishes its interviews and reviews forensic information." More context for you now. To date, ARVADA PD has not said how Samaritan Hurley was killed, only calling him a hero. We must stress, this is not an indictment on the decision by the officer in a very tense and a clearly life and death decision situation. We now know the missing details. We know it is standard protocol in these situations to conduct ballistic reviews, and these take time. We also know it's standard to conduct extensive interviews with witnesses and first responders. The Jeffco County Sheriff's Office is now leading this investigation, and we expect to hear more in the next 48 hours from ARVADA Police. I'm Chief Investigative Reporter Tony KOVALESKI.
Very complicated situation. Thank you, Tony. To dig a little deeper here, we talked with the Executive Director of Rocky Mountain Gun Owners. He shared his condolences for Johnny Hurley's family, but says his bravery is why he supports concealed carry.
This proves kind of what we've been talking about all along. We have firearms as tools. They're tools to protect ourselves and protect others. In this situation, there's no telling how many innocent lives were saved because of a good guy with a gun.
He says as a witness to an incident like this, it is important to be very descriptive when calling police. He says be sure to describe all physical features of a Good Samaritan with a gun to police. Now, to be clear, we did speak to several witnesses of the Old Town ARVADA shooting. Many said it was such a frantic situation they could not recollect a good description of anyone involved. So who was Johnny Hurley? We spoke to friends today who say they were not surprised he stepped in when he heard gunfire. They say he was an outspoken activist who had a heart for people. Hurley was 40 years old and lived in Golden. Business owners say they heard Hurley tell people to run to safety before confronting the gunman and shooting him. A friend says it saddens him that Johnny was killed by police because through his activism work, he had a desire to change the system of policing.
The irony here is just that, you know, he was kind of distrustful of authority systems, and but he did care about people. So I mean, I could totally see him coming out there and trying to stop a bad situation from occurring.
We reached out to Hurley's family, and they tell us they're still processing the loss of Johnny. We want to add a bit more perspective for you on the kind of situation responding officers arrive to. Denver7's Addie GUAJARDO spoke with one expert. Addie, in an incident like this, responding officers are arriving to a tense situation on calls of an officer down.
Jessica, they are, which can be very confusing at times. I spoke with a retired director of police trainer out of the state of Minnesota. She's got more than 2 decades of experience and tells me when police respond to a situation where more than one person is armed, it's very difficult for police officers to make a distinction. So she breaks down the protocols that should have been followed by police and what should have been followed by that Good Samaritan, John Hurley.
The ARVADA Police Department has issued a shelter-in-place order.
The initial 911 call came in on Monday around 1:15 p.m. for a suspicious incident near the ARVADA library. 15 minutes later, dispatch received calls for shots fired and that an officer was hit by gunfire.
Well, the second wave of officers obviously do not know who's who.
Mylan Masson is a former director of the law enforcement program at Hennepin Technical College. She also served on the Minnesota Police Officers Standard Training Board more than 2 decades. She says in situations like these, police response is heightened.
They may not have been updated as to the fact that the citizen who helped them out, they don't know if he's the actual killer. Did he shoot the police officer or what?
She says the first step is for officers to take cover and give orders, but adds that it's difficult when they're responding to an open plaza. So their next move is to immediately gain control of the weapons.
What they're going to do is they're going to command the person to put the gun down.
And this is where she says every second counts.
If that Good Samaritan didn't put the gun down and came towards the officers, that's where some confusion could come, and that's where the officers may shoot.
A decision she says officers must make in seconds.
Can guess or estimate, maybe 5 seconds. You know, sometimes you have to make that decision to shoot in 1.5 seconds.
And look, we want to be very transparent. There's still a lot of unanswered questions and a lot of factors that play a vital role in this case. We don't know if officers followed their protocol, and we don't know where John Hurley had his gun. Was it in his hand? Was it on his holster? Was it on the ground? And it could take some time before we get answers to those questions because the ARVADA Police Department, well, they don't wear body cameras. But we will continue to ask these questions until we have a full story of what exactly unfolded out here in Old Town Arvada. Reporting live in Arvada, Addie GUAJARDO, Denver7 on Local 3.
A lot of factors to take in. Thank you, Addie. Tonight, the memorial at Officer Gordon Beesley's patrol car is growing. As you know, Officer Beesley was a school resource officer, and we couldn't help but notice all of the notes from kids. While we were at his patrol car, we met a teacher who worked with Officer Beesley at her school. She says she watched him develop a friendship with a struggling kindergartner.
It's a tribute to the kind of person he was, that many kids have come out and brought notes.
And take a look at this tribute from a 12-year-old boy in Florida. He ran a mile around a track carrying a thin blue line police flag in honor of Officer Beesley. Zachariah founded Running for Heroes. It's a nonprofit raising funds for injured first responders and also paying tribute to fallen heroes. Today, our news partners at the Denver Post reported the suspected gunman left a note threatening police officers. Detectives tell the Post that a document was discovered with a direct threat on officers, specifically Arvada police officers. We stopped by 59-year-old Ronald Troyke's apartment today. We caught up with a neighbor. She says he was always calm, but didn't have many interactions with him. New tonight at 8, fire crews battling the Sylvan fire in Eagle County say favorable weather conditions aided them today. They say they were able to construct new fire lines to try and contain some of the blaze. 195 personnel are battling the fire, which stands at more than 3,500 acres. It's burning near Eagle. Fire bosses expect additional heavy helicopter help to arrive tomorrow. The Muddy Slide fire blew up overnight and is now 3,500 acres. This is about 18 miles from Kremling. Evacuations have been ordered for a 12-mile stretch of road. CAIRNS is a spokesperson for the fire crews. She says we'll probably be seeing worse fires than this one if Mother Nature doesn't cooperate.
It's all going to depend on, the weather in the future. Normally in the middle of July, we will get monsoonal rains. Last year, we didn't get them. That's how Cameron Peak ended up getting as big as it did. If we don't get the monsoonal rains this year, we could be looking at another really bad year.
Today, federal officials raised the fire preparedness level to level 4 out of 5. That means many areas are battling wildfires and are competing for resources.
It was another sizzler today, but cooler and wetter weather is coming in soon.
A Colorado athlete has her sights set on gold in Tokyo next month.
I always looked up to Olympians. I was very athletic, and so I just wanted to be an athlete.
And it's not just Team USA she'll be representing at the Olympics.
Representing the U.S. Army and Team USA is just, I can't really describe it. I have so much more that I'm fighting for.
Plus, a new noise variance request has been made for nighttime work near the Central 70 project. And coming up later, a Denver clothing bank is repeatedly hit by thieves.
The damage that he's done is just, cost us literally thousands and thousands of dollars.